are in the KCIW radio station studio here in Brookings, Oregon. Thank you, listeners, for being a part of the Quality Living with Peaceful Support. It is an honor and a privilege to be here on air with the FCC regulations and all the different things out there in the world and all the channels that we have and all the podcasts. It really is very heartfelt thank you to the listeners for tuning in here to Quality Living, because we know you have a gazillion options out there. And we are here for you, as you've heard in past episodes, and you will also in future episodes. We are here to hear what you want to have warming up your ears, and how to be best of a peaceful support to the community. And we bring in our guests periodically, routinely, so that we can really have quality living, so that we can get more than just, oh, that one guest showed up and said something and never heard from them again. We like to build upon the gardens that we plant. And so we have with us, as you may remember from past episodes, Mr. Christopher is here from the Crystal Cove Rock Shop, and he has some updates for us. Hey, Christopher.
Hi, how's it going?
Super groovy, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, listeners. I am Amanda. Christopher, tell us what the update is with the Crystal Cove Rock Shop. Tell us what happened. I'm sure people have seen. Maybe they have no idea.
True. Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad and honored to be here as well. The rock shop, I had to close it down. It was a really glorious experience. I felt that I really, I enjoyed that, just connecting with people. And it's really not about I'm trying to get rich. It's like me connecting people with the rocks. And I love it when people say, they would come in and say, hey, this one spoke to me. This one's talking to me. So that happens, and well, you got to take them home when that happens. So that's
kind of like a puppy.
Yeah, sure, exactly. And especially the kids, the children, they're always happy and excited, and it's, everything is wondrous to them, and it's a miracle. And I try to maintain that energy myself in most things that I do. And so the rock shop is closed now, and the end of this past June, we closed the doors. But that is, at the moment, I was sad about that, but every ending is a new beginning, and everything changes. That's really the only constant in life, is that everything changes. So I was able to embrace that in a positive way, with a little bit of help from you, a little encouragement. Thank you for that. It's exactly what we were talking about, or I was talking about the last time on the show, of reframing things into a positive energy. And that is, we all have the power to do that. And that happens by being conscious of what our inner dialogue is, and deciding whether or not that is something that we want to allow. And so that is been a real powerful tool for me throughout my life. And it isn't always easy to remember that, though. And that is where the support comes in, exactly what you're describing with the show, and your intent with the show of, this is it, just the right, a little nudge, something that you say or do to someone in the right moment, the synchronicity of that moment can change their life. And that is, I look for those opportunities. And not only with people, but with animals and with nature as well. Like I've described before, of every time I go to the beach, I pick up garbage. And that's service. And I really feel that that's why I am here on the earth now, is to be of service. And again, as I've described before on the show, that's, my purpose and my intent is to grow and to carry more love and light and compassion, and spread that wherever I go to everybody, whether I think they deserve it or not. but because they do.
To be as kind as possible.
Absolutely.
Have that inner peace shine through.
Yeah, and
Biting your tongue.
sometimes it's better just to say nothing at all. Yeah. But with that is allowing others to have their own experience as well. It's, the old saying of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I think I might have said this on the first show, but I saw a meme that said you can lead a human to knowledge, but you can't make him think. So,
it's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. So we get what we're ready for. And part of that I found, especially when I was counseling, a drug and alcohol counselor, is that it's important to meet people where they're at. Because that is, you can't go from, basic math to doing calculus. There's no shortcuts. So life is a process of growth, and it goes in stages, and you build upon what you've already have. So it's
some people, they when you meet them where they're at, they also, just to go more on it, they also need to see where they can go, because so many people don't have that role model or that image or that idea of like, that's where they're always going to be, to be able to also show them all their possibilities, like give them support to see more than where they are.
Absolutely. And that's part of the process of enlightenment, which is bringing the unconscious into the conscious. And so we don't know what we don't know, right?
We don't know. We know nothing.
We don't know. And it oftentimes, again, with that, just maybe that little nudge of support, it could be anything, just shining a little light on things, changing your perspective a little bit, shifting the focus. And those are subtle things, but they have profound impact. And especially when we're talking about energy, which is what I'm all about, especially with the crystals and the crystal healing and grids and things that I do, is that you can't see that. You can't really quantify that.
Some people have the ability to see.
I can see a little bit. Yeah, I can.
But the majority of the people, exactly.
Right. So, the mainstream idea of, that it isn't really tactile. You can't really put your hands on it. But it can have profound effects on people, on the course of your life, on the decisions you make. And it is when miracles happen. And I believe in miracles, and I expect miracles to happen. And that is part of creating the space for that kind of energy to come into your life. And similar to what you're describing, it's if I tell myself that I can't do something, it's very likely that I can't do it.
Yeah, you've already limited your belief system to where you've taken that option away.
It's right. It's just not even on the table because I don't. It's not in my my vision. So that's also part of what I love with the crystals and the healing and the grids, like I said, of that is really, it's expansive, and it creates a space for magic to happen. And I've seen miracles. It's a miracle that I'm sitting here today. And we've talked a little, and you too, both of us. It's really a miracle.
Complete miracle. From Brookings of all places, let alone in our bodies.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's that. So I'm a believer because that's been the path that I've walked. And I love to share that with people, just like right here on the show. And kind of come and pour my heart out a little bit when we do these interviews. And that's because I want to share the miracle that is my life and the blessings that have come to me because I've been willing to do the work and to put the effort in, to put the miles in, to get results. And a lot of that is self-discipline, and which is not easy.
So difficult, but it's worth it.
Yes, absolutely. So where I'm at today is really my journey here in Brookings over the past 3 years or however long I've been here. I'm coming on 4, I think. Has been about opening my heart. And I haven't always seen that, but I see that now.
And so when you closed up the Crystal Cove Rock Shop, where did you go? What happened with that? Like, how did you
transform that into something positive? Right.
Because you were telling us about it.
Yeah.
You had that nudge, and then what happened?
Yeah, sure. So that has opened me up, like I said, opening my heart. And I've recognized that the journey with the rock shop was really part of that. And I've been able to refocus more into healing. I've been doing some crystal healing sessions. I've been working with some animals as well. And that's interesting because they don't have a belief system, right? And so that is something pretty tactile, that when it works, it doesn't always work. I mean, everybody doesn't always get results with everything that you do all the time.
And they're not going to give you a verbal,
right,
this, that, or the other.
Right. But our mutual friend, who I've been working on her elderly dog, there was a marked improvement in him when I started, and has carried through to this day, that a very visible improvement with him. So that is really satisfying and gratifying to know that I'm being of service, and I've
confirmation.
A real a validation that magic is real.
Right, and energy.
Yeah.
And our thoughts.
Absolutely. And everything is energy. Everything is a density and a vibration. And even when things are dense, like a rock or a crystal, it can still conduct energy and be a channel for energy. And that's what the healing is about for me, is that I'm not healing, I'm
coming through.
Yeah, I'm allowing the healing to come into the space
Directing
that I've
it.
created. Yeah. I'm focusing, I'm channeling that healing energy and allowing that to work and to do its magic. And so part of that has been yoga too, which you have helped me with, and our mutual friend, of looking inward and really being present and connecting with my own body, with my own energy, being mindful of what my thoughts are, and choosing to find a way to grow and to expand that energy and to share that with other people, and just to embody the love and compassion and the service that all of the masters who have ever walked the planet have shown us. That's been the same message with every master, regardless of where they are or what culture, is that I am you. I'm an example of what you can achieve, and every single person can achieve mastery. They really can. And that's part of that miracle, and part of the belief, and part of the magic that we're just talking about. And so I believe that is possible for everyone, and that the more I push myself and practice the self-discipline and find ways to create that love and that healing and compassion and support, the better my life gets, the happier I am, the more joy I experience, the more gratitude I feel for my everyday experiences. And the power of that can't be underestimated. And
there's a song that just came to mind. It's The Power of Love.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
I don't know if the listeners know that song.
Yeah.
I should cue it up and put it in.
Put a little clip in there. Yeah, why not? For sure. And so the yoga is helping me. And I have noticed, that not only changes in my energy, but positive changes with my body, with my physical body as well. And I feel more energy, feel more healthier, and more resilient, and things like that. So that's been a real excellent tool in part of my transformation, and I'm feeling led to go deeper with that as well. And luckily, I've got the people in my life that are able to help me with that, you included, and also our mutual friend, Vimla. So I'm excited as well.
Vimla Hajara.
Yes, she is
a Iyengar 3 yoga teacher in Pistol River that often does retreats. And I found her, and I refer people to her. And if you haven't heard me refer her to you, it's nothing personal. There's just different styles and forms. It's some people eat different foods. And if I know that you're not eating that type of food, I'm not going to give it to you. Or if you're not drinking alcohol, I'm not going to give it to you. So certain teachers and different students go different places.
Absolutely. Yep. And I'm fortunate and blessed to have been led on that path to her, because she's been a real asset to me, and we support each other. And but on that note as well, I'm supporting you in your project with the International Yoga Gathering. It's happening next year.
Yeah. IYG. And before we go to IYG, with the crystal grid energy and the work that you do from learning of the minerals and the conduction and the magnetism and the directing of the forces of the energies and all this beautiful healing powers, now that you're freed up from the cove, from the rock shop, you have met Vimla Iyengar. And Vemla's been on the show before, and she did an episode, and hopefully you guys can look back to that show. However, she is building this retreat center that is just out of this world in Pistol River, and Christopher has had time to participate in that. Which are tell the listeners what you've been doing over there, how it's evolving.
It's been fun. We built some rock walls with some river rock. And some other things. And I was a carpenter for 20 years. And that is something that I get joy out of. It's creative and it's art to me. So Vimla asked me to build her a custom rope wall for her new yoga space. And so it was pretty big, but so it has 32 pockets in this wall inset with a metal bar, and so you can do all your rope exercises and poses and things, activities off of this rope wall. And so it all had to be symmetrical, and that's something that gives me joy, like I said, of creating. I feel sacred geometry flowing through my hands when I build something, anything, but especially something symmetrical like that, because it was exactly the same, and it was all equidistant. And that is, I like being precise and making things beautiful. It's art to me. So I built this custom yoga rope wall, and it's kind of the centerpiece, really, of her new space. And it's beautiful. And I attended the workshop, some of the days of the workshop she had just a couple of weeks ago, and we were using it, and it was great, and I enjoyed getting compliments on how awesome it is and things like that. So that's part of, with the shop closed now, I have more time to kind of pick and choose some of these handyman and carpenter projects.
Sacred geometry,
absolutely,
creative sessions that you've been, because the energy that you put into these pieces, she couldn't just have anybody build this wall.
Right.
It had to be a certain energy that had a mindset.
Sure.
Experience to really have the design done properly. I mean, anybody could build it, but not everybody would direct the energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's part of, like I was saying, with the feeling that creative and that sacred geometry flowing through me when I create those types of things. So I am doing crystal healings with people and animals, and I'm doing custom grids for properties still, energy clearing,
yes,
custom orders, all that. I'm still a crystal person.
Yay!
And so if anybody is interested in any of those things, I still have my Crystal Cove Rock Shop page open on Facebook and Instagram as well.
So you're virtual.
Yes.
Now it's just virtual. You're just done with the physical location, and everything is accessible now to everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's nice.
So it in a way it is expansive, and the next stage of growth. And so I
that's quite impressive.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And so it's great because I don't feel like I had to abandon that.
No, you evolved. Right? You grew. You harvested the goods and you exploded.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Right. And that's really what my intent, as I've been describing, right, is to continue to grow and to allow the miracles to happen and to stay out of the way. That's another big part of just to stay out of the way and to be humble. Mm-hmm. And it's another part of like I was saying, of my heart journey here has recently been a lot of, as kind of along some of the Buddhist principles of, are my desires causing me to suffer? Right. Are my expectations setting me up for resentment?
Right.
And so what am I, like the garden we planted, what kind of seeds am I planting here?
Right.
And that is, I have control over that. Everybody does. And so I've been gaining some good insight with that. And that's, as always, the lessons are there. There's the external thing that is a lesson for me to look internally. And that's another, you really have to be willing to do that. That's the work that I just talked about a little while ago. That is the work. And it is not easy. And it's not for everybody. And it's, I'm not better than anybody else or, trying to say anything like that. But that's where my path is taking me, and I'm...
Different priorities.
Yeah. And I'm willing to go there.
Yeah.
So it's tough. But as you said, it works, and the rewards it's tenfold, and puts me in a position that it is, it's beautiful. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's beautiful, and it makes my heart sing when I have those moments that I feel that I'm present now and I'm connected, and that is peaceful. Yeah. That's where I find peace.
And with that support that connectivity with the community and parts that have grown are the International Yoga Gathering. Your support and energy has made it entirely possible for alleviated such a big part of making sure that we have the permits done already. The International Yoga Gathering, which is also International Peace Day.
Yes.
Yoga is a word for joining in peace, and the most common, to be at peace with yourself, to be at peace with your environment, to be at peace with your community, and to be able to be together in communion. And so when we do this, June 28th, 2025, yes, 2025, it's all those pressures of having the permits and the this and the that and that. Thank you so much for that, because now the energy that's cycling through all of us is able to bring the people together, bring all the other masterpieces and the puzzle pieces to design and grow the entire vision, and the performers, invite them. We have a schedule, and it's available on bodytemplehealth.com. And there's so many wonderful parts. And you were part of the first one, so you're an alumni. And
sure,
now you've taken on the role of, how would we say, the committee of the vendors, the vendor coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us about that.
Well, right now it's pretty easy because everybody can go to bodytemplehealth.com and they can sign up right there. Mm-hmm. And so I am in the process. I mapped out Azalea Park. I got all the spots designated. We're going to have, I would like to have 12-foot spots so that's spread out. I want it to be really, open, have a flow feeling to everything. I'd like to give local vendors priority for the spots. So I'm in the process of creating a map with the spots on it that will be on the website eventually,
nice.
where we can, somebody can say, hey, I would really like to have this spot or that spot, or there's,
Perfect.
I need power. So there's, certain areas where you have access to power, things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of reaching out, especially to local people, to come and join us, and, just have a grand old time. I'm really looking forward to this. It's gonna be magical, and because I expect it to be. And like you said, we're
planting the seeds.
The people are coming together, and the right people for the right things, and it's starting to gel and transform into something really miraculous, I think. Right now it's pretty easy, but the day of, I'm going to be probably the busiest person on the team, Yeah. But, bodytemplehealth.com, easy to sign up. And like I said, I'm going to be reaching out to local people personally, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm really excited about that.
Sweet. Yeah. And the design, it's a lot of people think for the productions that happen in town and different festivals and gatherings that people just show up, but there's so much behind the scenes work that happens. That's why International Yoga Gathering, IYG, happens every other year, because we like to give people time to design it, to really bring in the proper people and to really provide the best we can for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not trying to get rich off this or any, it's from the heart, really. And that is the goal of community and of bringing people together, of finding ways to be more healthy, to support each other, and to really enjoy the energy of
movement, physical activity.
Absolutely. Movement. Yeah. And keep the energy moving. And moving forward in a way that supports growth and allows people to be comfortable with where they are and where they're at, and without judgment. That's another part of my journey of, hey, don't need to judge things, have more acceptance,
right,
and more peace that way.
And we accept you, and we accept our listeners, and we are thankful. Thank you. That's all the time we have today. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you for having me. Namaste.
Namaste.
Peace.
Thank you, listeners.